right, so these are useful resources, part of the University of Maryland website. One more I'll show you is, this is more relevant to your question about, if you can't get these reports or if you don't say you didn't have access to this at Maryland. Well, LexisNexis, so LexisNexis, they catalog pretty much all the major newspapers, periodicals, and so on. So you could do little search terms. In the interest of time, I'm not going to actually type it in, but if you, I don't know, say you wanted to start a company that catered towards pets, you could do a search that's a number of pets United States, and it will come up with all the articles that would cite different studies and so on, and or number of PCs sold annually 2007 or sold in 2007. You'll give all the articles, and they'll cite a lot of these reports that we're showing here. Again, if you get the reports, that's even better. Smartphones sold worldwide. I mean, these are all examples that I tried earlier, and I got a bunch of hits. Sometimes you have to go on the second or third page of results, but you'll find some really good data. And in fact, a lot of these will work even on Google. Some of these same search terms that I suggested. I Googled Facebook financials, and I got some good results. Well, I should qualify good. I got some results. You have to, trust the source. So Google's even pretty good about a lot of this. Google can work. I think sometimes when Google doesn't work as well is that you have to separate all the other stuff. I mean, you're looking primarily for for newspaper articles and periodical articles. You're not looking for e-commerce sites that are selling things that have a search term. So it's a little bit hard to separate that out sometimes Google, but you can even find it at Google. All right, so let's move on. I was going to show you, well, let's get that. So, and then census data. Census data is pretty important. Once you get your demographics of like who, what are the social networking and show what the typical profile is. www.census.gov has all kinds of demographic information for the U.S. So you can get the size. How many of 18 to 24-year-olds are there, and or how many households are there that make 100,000 a year or more? I mean, all that kind of stuff breaks it down. That's very useful as well. All right, so let's continue with the show. Oops. Let's go back. So those answered those first two questions, and that's a big part of it. It's a way of gathering data. It now lets you sound a lot more credible when you speak about your venture, to be able to say there are this many customers out there for this kind of product, et cetera, et cetera. These are my competitors. If you aren't able to answer those questions, an investor won't take you seriously. Don't ever say, I don't have any competition. It either means that you don't know about them or you think you're Steve Jobs, right? So, and maybe that'll work out for you, but wouldn't bank on it. Only one Steve Jobs out there. So, how do you answer the other questions? Will anyone buy your product? Who will be your first customers? And there's something called a focus group. And I'm just going to show a quick video. And that broadly answers these kinds of questions.
So, what do you think?
Don't take this wrong, but it doesn't make me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Yeah, I find it dark and disturbing.
I mean, it's neither cuddly nor wuddly.
Okay. Binky, any thoughts?
It scares the out of me.
Perfect. That's just the reaction we were looking for. The all-new Dodge Caliber. It's anything but cute.
All right, the reason I want to show you this is the way a typical focus group actually works. You have some product you're talking about. Maybe it's not necessarily the product itself, but it's some sort of description. You've got a panel of people that you've invited and typically paid. In this case, it's these Muppet guys. And you're asking them for their thoughts about your concept or the actual product. And you typically have this one-way mirror set up where these guys are here.
Perfect.
These guys are from the company, or these would be you. You're sitting behind a one-way mirror so you can observe, because you not only want to do what they say, you want to gauge their reactions and so on. And so that's a pretty typical focus group setup. So you typically have some, like I said, some paid participants and so on. It's important to have a good moderator. Because you don't want to inhibit any participant feedback. You don't want to ask leading questions. I mean, at my old company, we paid a lot of money for some focus groups, and the results we got were pretty useless because the moderators just wanted us, we hired an outside company, they just wanted us to be happy. So they kind of asked leading questions and ran the focus group in a way that the responses we got were, oh, we love your product. And that's not useful. Okay? You want to have a good moderator who knows to give you constructive feedback. And what focus groups are really good for is really starting, you don't really know exactly what your feature set and things like that are going to be, what's important to people. It's good for you assessing user needs and evaluating product concepts. They should never be used to project to quantifiable results. Like if you have 8 participants and 6 of them say they like it, don't go out and say, oh, well, we will have, you know, whatever, 75% market share or 75% of people will like this product. It's not about that. It's about just finding out from people what their needs are, what kinds of things are really annoy them right now, what the products they currently use, to help you refine so that you can get to the next step, which is to write up a survey. Okay? Because if you were to start without I mean, if you can do the focus group inexpensively, with the setup I showed you is very expensive with professionals and so on, but even if you can just informally get some people to participate, then that helps you narrow down the questions you want to ask in a survey. And a survey will help you more specifically answer, will anyone buy your product and who will be your first customers. Just some quick points on surveys. Every question on the survey, the first question you should ask is, when I get an answer to this question, what am I going to do with that answer? All right? If it tells you something interesting, but you're not going to do anything with information, throw it away. I mean, the worst thing in the world are long surveys. You want to keep it really as short as possible. Some other rules. We're going to post these slides, so I'm not going to go through them. Some obvious things about surveys. I had an example of a really bad survey, but I'll skip that one. It's just sort of funny because it really didn't do anything, accomplish anything at the end. So let me see. I'm going to show. Oh, so it's also about asking surveys. One thing, let me get back here. I'll stay on this one. It's really important when you do surveys to kind of mix it up a bit, okay? And you want to ask questions in a way so that it's not biased. And this is from a marketing professor I had at Wharton. He cited this study, which was really interesting, where there was a question in the survey that just asked, are you very much interested in buying this new product? And the only difference was what questions came before it. And if no question was asked before it, 2.8% people said they were very much interested. If the questions before it all talked about the advantages of such a product, then suddenly it went up to 16.7. If it was only disadvantages before it, obviously nobody. So, so you want to kind of mix it up a little bit when because it's not going to help you to get information that's not reflective of your actual customers. Okay. And finally, on surveys, pre-test. So you only have one shot. There are these great tools out there like Zoomerang and SurveyMonkey. They make it really easy for you to throw together a survey and email it to a bunch of people. And they even have these templates. There's even a template specifically for a new product concept. And so you just kind of plug in your stuff and you can email it to a bunch of people. The last thing you want to do is email a bunch of people and have a poorly designed survey. So A, either nobody takes it because it's too long and poorly designed and so on. Or B, you made a major mistake and then you say, oh, forget that other one, can you do this one again? So pre-test with a small group, okay? Just get some of your, really looking for typos, for all kinds of things, and before you do your big launch of your survey. And let's see, we're already at 1, so we're going to have to wrap it up. But so those are the three things for startups to do. You got your secondary sources of market research, and then to estimate market size, and also who your competitors are and what the competing products are, and then lastly, use if you can focus groups and surveys to narrow down who are going to be your first customers and what your feature set should be. And hopefully you'll use some of that and enter into our business plan competition. The executive summaries are due next month, and I'll hang out for a little bit if you guys have questions want to come up.